Good morning, Bucknutters. Welcome to the Bucknuts Morning 5 here on Monday, January 14th, 2019. I am Dave Biddle, very happy to be joined by the Dean of Ohio State football recruiting. He is, of course, Bill Kurelic. Bill, as you wrote in your What I Am Hearing column last night, which is a must-read, of course, Bucknutters, as you know, this coming weekend is a big official visit weekend for Ohio State. Let's start with Doug Nestor. What is the latest on the offensive lineman from Huntington, West Virginia? Do you think he will ultimately be a Buckeye?
I really do, as of right now, Dave. I think he's certainly happy that Greg Studrawa is going to stay as the offensive line coach. And, you know, for all the angst that Bucknutters have over Greg Studrawa, the players that have committed to Ohio State, including 2019 and 2020, you know, they really wanted to see him come back. Doug Nestor being one of them. Harry Miller is another great example. Very happy that Greg Studrawa is the coach. I think the fact that he's coming back and continue on as the Ohio State offensive line coach really, really helps with Doug Nestor. I still think Penn State is a threat. I still think Virginia Tech is a threat. But you know, he canceled the Georgia visit, a good sign. And you know, we'll see what happens with these with these three visits. But Buckeye fans certainly are going to hope that he just would shut it down after this weekend and stay with Ohio State. We'll see if by chance that happens.
They're also in on Dawand Jones. What's the latest with him? It's an uncommittable offer. Like, what do you think is going to happen with Dawand Jones, the big offensive lineman out of Indiana?
I think we'll see what happens this weekend. I think if Ohio State really pushes for him this weekend, I think they've got a great chance of landing him. And I tend to think that they are going to do that they are going to push for him this weekend. But he's a guy with a lot of potential. You know, kind of a little bit of a late bloomer, but a basketball guy, has basketball scholarship offers, and initially thought he was going to go that direction, basketball, but now it's definitely football. And, you know, again, if Ohio State pushes for him, I think they have a great chance of landing him.
Are there any other high school prospects are going after in the 2019 class? I'll ask you about maybe JUCOs or like graduate transfers in a minute, but anybody else in the 2019 class that's like a high school senior that they're in on?
I think one to keep in mind is MJ Devonshire. He's a defensive back out of Pennsylvania. And you know, he's a guy right now that, again, if Ohio State would decide to really push for him, I think they have a pretty good chance of getting him. Right now, I think as things stand, I would say he's probably going to go to Pitt, but he has said that he's going to make an official visit to Ohio State this weekend, but it's not a certainty. In fact, I talked to MJ on Sunday night, and he told me again, it's not for sure right now if he'll make an official visit this weekend. If he does, and if the Ohio State staff pushes for him, you know, that's definitely a name to keep in mind. When you think about it, you know, what is the area or areas that Ohio State's concentrating on to finish this recruiting class? That would be, of course, offensive line, and in the secondary, that's, you know, the guys that we've talked about. And you know, you and I have talked about this, Dave. Kendall Sheffield. You know, you don't think that he's likely coming back. I don't think he's likely coming back, but that would be the biggest commitment Ohio State could get right there. If they could land him, to me, that's like securing a commitment from really a 4 or 5 star defensive back out there right now. Only they will only have him for 1 year, but they would have him for 1 year and a guy with a great amount of experience. Again, I don't necessarily think that's going to happen, but wouldn't it be great for Ohio State if it did?
Yeah, no doubt about it. As I mentioned, I want to know, because I know a lot of fans want to know about this. Are they in on any JUCOs? Are they in on any graduate transfers? Obviously, the graduate transfer thing would happen maybe a few months down the road, but are you hearing anything on the JUCO front or the grad transfer front for Ohio State?
Yeah, Dave, I really haven't heard anything substantive that they're going to have any JUCO transfers at this point. But, you know, we're used to the Urban Meyer surprises. You know, maybe we get a Ryan Day surprise in his initial year. So we'll see. But I think in one way, Dave, we've got at least one Ryan. Well, we got 2 Ryan Day surprises. Of course, 3 months ago, who would have thought Justin Fields would be at Ohio State? I don't think anybody would have. So that's one surprise. And then the second one to me is Hill. Who would have thought that KJ Hill was coming back? I think most people felt once Haskins went to the NFL, KJ Hill was going to go to the NFL too, and that was a great surprise, at least to a lot of people, that KJ Hill is back.
It's obviously going to be a big recruiting weekend, even for the juniors. It's a junior day for Ohio State. Ryan Day, as you mentioned, and what I'm hearing, will be hosting his first junior day at Ohio State this Saturday. Paris Johnson's going to be there. That's huge. He's still committed to Ohio State. What's the latest with Paris Johnson in the 2020 class? Any concerns there? Does he seem pretty solid to Ohio State?
It's trending up, definitely. And that, what better way to trend up than with a 5-star offensive tackle? I mean, at the Ohio State area of need, you got a great prospect. I wouldn't consider it a done deal at this point, but I definitely like Ohio State's chances. It's trending up. He is getting more and more comfortable with Ryan Day. He, of course, committed when Urban Meyer was the head coach. Urban Meyer was a key part of his recruitment, but Ryan Day's doing a great job with him. Ryan Day actually is supposed to be at his high school today. Stop there and check on him. So that is all trending very positive for the Buckeyes. And you mentioned it's a junior day. That's what they call it. More appropriately, let's call it a sophomore junior day, because there's going to be some great sophomores at Ohio State this weekend. Ryan Linthicum, an offensive lineman, one of the best in the country for 2021 out of Maryland, is going to be there this weekend. Ben Chrisman, I haven't said a lot about him, but he's going to probably be there this weekend. Could be the top offensive lineman in Ohio in class of 2021. So it's going to be a sophomore junior day on Saturday, and it should be a good one. They'll have all their staff on hand, and it'll be a chance for all of these youngsters to meet the new staff.
I want to circle back to Coach Stud for a second. You mentioned Coach Stud is coming back. From what you've been told, how close was that? How close was he to leaving for Maryland? How close was Ryan Day maybe to wanting himself to look for a new O-line coach? Just because I know that was up in the air for a while. Just what can you share about Stud?
Well, let me put it this way. From the very beginning, even before a lot of these rumors of Maryland and the Bowling Green situation and all came about, and I was told by someone that I really trust, a good source, that don't expect changes on the offensive side of the ball, and that obviously included Greg Studrawa. Where were the problems this year? Everybody knows they were not on the offensive side of the ball. Ohio State scored a lot of points. It was the matter of fixing the defense, and as you know, and as you've said on our site, Ryan Day pretty much blew up the defensive side of the ball and made the changes there, and that's where they were needed to be made. So I have said pretty consistently, I think, that I expected Greg Studrawa to be back, and did he, flirt with other opportunities? Yeah, I mean, he said he applied for the Maryland, or not the he said he applied for the job at Bowling Green. But again, I really thought he would be back, and that's what has happened.
Well, great stuff as always from the Dean of Ohio State football recruiting. He is Bill Kurelic. Thank you very much to the Dean, and thanks to all the listeners out there for tuning into the show. I appreciate that as well. Hope everyone has a great day.